In today's news, we have multiple XRP bombshells, most of which have just been dropped at the ongoing Paris Block Week, but all of these announcements confirm that XRP is about to explode in value. The first major announcement involves a new Ripple partnership, BCB Group. As we can see from their post, we're thrilled to make the announcement while at Paris Block Week that we are working with Metaco, the Ripple-owned provider of digital asset infrastructure technology, to consolidate governance of our digital asset custody operations on Metaco's flagship custody platform. This is a colossal announcement. BCB Group is a leading crypto-dedicated payment service provider, and their extensive clientele list includes the likes of Bitstamp, Crypto.com, Gemini, Kraken, and so on. And their leadership executive team have an incredibly prestigious background, previously working for institutions like Barclays, Coinbase, Credit Suisse, Deutsche Bank, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, and so on and so forth. And I shouldn't need to remind you that most of these institutions already have ties and partnerships to Ripple already. As highlighted in this post from XRP drops this video from Ripple's new partner BCB Group to find the killer application of stablecoins. How revolutionary this technology is, which is why therefore it explains why they have put their trust into Ripple. Pay close attention.
Why would you use Amazon when it's such a faff to get the dial-up to work and get the browser to work when I could just go down to the shops? And it took a good 2 decades before Amazon has really eclipsed the high street in the UK, and now there isn't anyone that isn't using Amazon or e-commerce rather than heading down to the high street, much to the woe of the high street retailers. And there's no difference here, where stablecoin, from my perspective, another analogy here is the gasoline that we're putting in the cars. The killer app is not stablecoin for me. It's what you're putting that stablecoin in, be it the DeFi protocols, which is removing a tremendous amount of friction from the financial services industry, which the normal person, be it the end investor or the institutional player, really struggles with, the friction that goes on as we try and move the value around the economy.
Now, this bombshell new partnership isn't the only bombshell to be dropped at this event, as Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse makes yet again another shocking announcement at the imminent potential and effectively inevitable approval of an Xrp ETF. You will not want to miss this.
I told David this backstage. When friends of mine ask me, hey, I want to invest in crypto, how should I do that? I always say, like, invest in a basket. I'm not saying just buy Bitcoin or just buy XRP. I'm saying you want to invest in a basket and have diversification. So, look, I think there will be other ETFs. Unfortunately, I think it's going to take a little bit of time because the United States SEC is fighting that. But I think one of the things that people don't fully understand, that they haven't really paid attention to, in the United States, there's only 2 cryptos that have regulatory clarity. Bitcoin, and because of the fight we had with the courts, XRP has regulatory clarity that it's not a security. And so that is, I think it's a differentiator, and I think it does matter. To answer your macro point, look, there will be other ETFs in the United States. Hard to predict the timelines. I don't know how hard Gary Gensler and this SEC will fight.
Such a massive announcement from Ripple CEO no less is a very bullish indicator for XRP, which is why, despite the whole crypto market being red because Bitcoin is dumping, XRP is still green right now, up roughly 1 or 2%. Because Brad Garlinghouse has just reaffirmed what many in this space have been saying for months now. Because of XRP's non-security status, it's only a matter of time, and as covered in this video here, as we can see more cryptos that are deemed non-securities will happen in the future, we are going to see a massive flood of ETFs introduced into the space, even like Metaverse or NFT ETFs will be introduced. But to quote the words of the crypto sensei down here, I think people miss that the SEC needs to approve an ETF, and the chances of that happening anytime soon are slim to none. Now, where this is true, I guess it's a very good thing then that Brad Garlinghouse bullish announcements at this event doesn't stop with just XRP ETFs, as he also announced the end of Gary Gensler's reign as the chairman of the SEC.
Also, just make the point, Gary Gensler will not be the chair of the SEC in probably a year and a half or 2 years' time. There will be a new leader, there will be a new perspective, and I hope a more constructive perspective from the United States government on how to work with this industry. I think we all acknowledge this industry is not going away. And in events like Paris Blockchain, we keep growing for a reason.
Gary Gensler's end seems closer than ever, and this statement from Brad Garlinghouse is reaffirmed in this post from Fox Business journalist Eleanor Terrett, where she covers the words of Senator Tom Tillis on crypto regulations. To quote him, "There needs to be light regulatory regime put into place. We want to create the most hospitable environment for digital assets to thrive. We don't want to overreach and lose the opportunity to be that jurisdiction." So again, finally, we can see the inevitable end of Gary Gensler and his tyranny coming closer and closer to its end. And at the Paris Block Week, the three biggest notable partners were the XRP Ledger, Circle and Stellar, which makes sense because all their goals are aligned together. But this is big news because it effectively confirms that whereas XRP is definitely going to make monumental gains in the future to come, there are other assets that are also focusing on real world utility that will also play a crucial important role. And that only the most important crypto assets, the ones that are focusing on real world problems, will survive the inevitable crypto culling. And again, in that regard, we have another massive video once more recorded at the Paris Block Week from Sandra Rowe, where she states the exact same thing that Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has been saying for years now, that only the chosen ones will remain when the institutions make their move into the space, and they are here now. The culling is not far off.
I can't tell you which bank, but let me just say, big global bank who is currently working on a lot of what I would deem as more hybrid solutions. I've had their senior executives even say that as public chains create tools and the ability to meet the requirements just as Solana is doing and other chains are working towards, they would prefer to work towards that direction too. So the concept of like, there's no way a corporate's gonna ever use a public chain, that's going away. The question now is, are there flavors of offerings and tools that meet the requirements that enterprises need? And that will drive a huge amount of not only adoption and usage. Just think about how big some of these corporates are, but also, more importantly, it will help also solidify, I think, I'll be a little controversial here, some of the best-in-class chains that are out there, and there will be a distinction. I think there's going to be a marked distinction between the top, 10, 15 chains versus the rest.
I said somewhat controversially around that period that I thought 99% of crypto, at the time there were 2,000, not 19,000. And I said that I thought 99% of them would probably go to zero.
So by all accounts, XRP is most definitely one of the chosen ones. And this whole video and what I've shown you is proof enough of that as well. But if you want a little bit more, then you can see from this post here from Chad, Alipay, WeChat Pay confirmed. Triangular Ripple payments connected to China through multiple routes, including the UnionPay Bank Network Service real-time settlement. But that is not all, as Chad also shows proof that India UPI connected to Google Pay, Amazon Pay and WhatsApp Pay, and the banks include Axie Bank, ICICI, HDFC, SBI, Yes Bank, Kotak Bank, all of which are Ripple partners and utilize Ripple payments, which is proof once more that XRP and Ripple's influence isn't single to just America, it's worldwide, it's in the BRICS nations, and therefore XRP is going to soar to the moon in the years to come. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.